Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Saifuddin Nasution Ismail has called for an end to speculations that he will challenge incumbent PKR Deputy President Rafizi Ramli for the latter's post. He said he will hold a press conference if a decision has been made. Pakatan Harapan Secretary General Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said he has yet to make a decision on contesting for the PKR Deputy Presidency in the party's ongoing election. This was after several analysts said that Saifuddin may consider entering the contest following the defeats of many Rafizi-aligned figures across PKR's 222 branches. He told reporters that he would call a press conference if he has made a decision and urged all quarters not to speculate. He said don't put words into his mouth and there are still 2 or 3 more steps to go. Saifuddin added that he recently held a closed-door meeting with Rafizi at the latter's office to discuss their respective roles in strengthening the party. According to Saifuddin, the discussion with Rafizi was an open and honest one, and both were committed to working together to reinforce PKR's leadership. He added that elections are a democratic process that cannot be extinguished in a reformist party like PKR. Saifuddin also rejected any attempt to label factions within the party, stressing that there is no such thing as Team Saifuddin or Team Rafizi. He echoed the stance of PKR President Anwar Ibrahim, saying that they are all party people. When asked about the defeats of several big names in the divisional polls, Saifuddin said they would not be sidelined. Ismael Sabri will be recalled to the MACC to continue providing his statement this Thursday. This was announced by MACC Chief Azams. The MACC will recall former Prime Minister Ismael Sabri this Thursday. This is to resume recording his statement as part of ongoing investigations into alleged corruption and money laundering. MACC Chief Commissioner Azams reportedly said that the upcoming session pertains specifically to the former Prime Minister's asset declaration submitted under Section 36(1) of the MACC Act 2009. Azams told reporters that Ismael Sabri is being recalled to continue providing his statement. Ismael Sabri is under investigation over alleged corruption and money laundering involving the acquisition and use of funds for the promotion and publicity of the Keluarga Malaysia program. This was during his tenure as Prime Minister from August 2021 to November 2022. He is being investigated under the MACC Act 2009 and the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism, Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. On March 3rd, Azams was reported as stating that Ismael Sabri is a suspect in a corruption and money laundering case. This came following the discovery of approximately 170 million ringgit in multiple currencies and 16 kg of gold bars during an MACC raid at a designated safe house. MACC has reportedly frozen 13 bank accounts to facilitate the ongoing investigation. Akmal has told voters in Ayer Kuning that there is no need to fear him. This was in response to PSM's banner which had included a picture of him. Although he is not contesting in the Ayer Kuning by-election in Perak, UMNO Youth Chief Dr. Akmal has highlighted how his image is featured on campaign posters in the constituency. In a post on Facebook yesterday, Akmal shared photo of a PSM banner for the by-election depicting him behind PSM candidate Bawani KS with text in Chinese saying a vote for Bian is a vote for Akmal and urging support for political parties that do not play racial politics. Akmal questioned the motive behind the use of his image and the message conveyed in the posters. He asked if they were afraid of him and said that there is no need to fear him. He said this is as long as they do not touch on religion, race and the monarchy as enshrined in the federal constitution. However, he said if they do touch on 3R issues even a little, Bian will not budge an inch to defend their religion, race and homeland. He also urged them to campaign healthily. The Ayer Kuning by-election was called after the death of its incumbent assemblyperson Isham Shahruddin, 58, who died of a heart attack on February 22nd. The race is a three-cornered fight between Tapa Perikatan National Chief Abdul Muhaimin Malik, Tapa UMNO Secretary Yusri Bakir, and Bawani, who is PSM Deputy Secretary General. Before we move on, consider supporting us by scanning the QR code on the screen and subscribe to Malaysiakini. DAP's youth chief has told Rasman Zakaria to avoid social media if he can't handle satire. He said this in response to Rasman's comments on a caricature of him. As a politician, you must be ready to accept criticism from various quarters, regardless of their political background. This was the response from DAP Youth Chief Wu Ka-leong to Perak opposition leader Rasman Zakaria after the latter reacted negatively to a caricature Wu had posted depicting him as a clown. In a statement, he said Rasman couldn't accept being made fun of, and it's heard that his image was caricatured, leading to him threatening to take legal action and asking for authorities to intervene. To this, Wu said his suggestion to Rasman is that it may be better for him to return to a cave to live a normal life and avoid social media. He pointed out that caricatures and political satire are a political norm in most of the world and that Rasman should learn to accept it. He added that Rasman should learn from DAP Secretary General Anthony Loke, who thanked Pakatan National for parading caricatures of him, shushing critics. He also urged Rasman to focus on constituency matters and the welfare of the people. Wu said Rasman shouldn't get triggered again just because of a satirical picture. Yesterday, the Perak past leader demanded that Wu apologize and take down the caricature or face a lawsuit. A group has objected to a possible extension of Azam Baki's contract as MACC chief, saying it would be a betrayal of promised reforms. Gampo Raswa Sabah has voiced its strong objection to the possible extension of MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki's tenure. The group said it would be a betrayal of the reforms that Pakatan Harapan had promised. It stressed that the appointment of the MACC chief should undergo an independent and transparent assessment process, with the selection reviewed and debated in Parliament. In a statement, the group said it is of the view that an independent commission should be established to carry out the function of assessing and selecting officers, including the MACC Chief Commissioner, as proposed by Bersih. It also reminded Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim of Harapan's past campaign against Azam in 2022. The group said the government must stay consistent with its strategy as outlined in the National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2024 to 2028, which calls for the appointment of a new MACC Chief Commissioner. On April 4th, Anwar said the government had not yet decided on Azam's tenure, which is due to expire in May. This came following a Bloomberg report quoting sources who claim that Anwar is set to extend Azam's contract with an announcement likely in early May, though the plans may still change. Malaysiakini journalist Nanta Kumar resumed his duties yesterday following an independent inquiry into his case. Malaysiakini journalist B. Nanta Kumar, who had been on suspension with full benefits since March 5th, has been reinstated and resumed his duties yesterday. This came following an independent inquiry into his case. In a statement, Malaysiakini's board of directors said it had reviewed the findings of an independent domestic inquiry panel convened to consider disciplinary action against Nanta. The board announced that it has accepted the panel's decisions and recommendations. It added that among other measures, Malaysiakini will strengthen its policies in certain areas concerning investigative journalism. The board also expressed its appreciation to inquiry panel members Andrew Koo, Mas Jaliza Hamzah, and Shamini Arumugam, as well as others involved in the process for their time and effort. The panel had been formed to review Nanta's compliance with editorial protocols in the development of his articles. Nanta had claimed trial on March 14th to a charge of allegedly receiving a 20,000 ringgit bribe as an inducement to refrain from publishing further reports on migrant syndicates. Nanta, who has exposed numerous migrant workers syndicates in the past, has denied the allegations. Naim Mokhtar has urged politicians to not exploit the Quran or Hadiths for political gain. This was in response to politicians using religion while campaigning. Religious Affairs Minister Naim Mokhtar has urged politicians not to use verses from the Quran and Hadiths as a tool to achieve political goals, especially during election campaigns. According to Bernama, he says such practices should be avoided, especially in matters that require consultation with religious authorities, such as the Mufti departments or state Islamic bodies. He said in his view, if it involves opinion on hukum or rulings, it's best to avoid making statements to avoid causing confusion among the public. He added that it is always advisable to refer to the Mufti department or the relevant authorities, and most importantly, do not exploit them for political gain. Naim said this in response to a question on the tendency of political leaders to use religious references in their campaign narratives. Past President Abdul Hadi Awang had, during a mega speech at the Ayer Kuning by-election campaign last Saturday, had reportedly said that Muslims should prioritize political victory, even if it means postponing plans to perform the Umrah or Hajj pilgrimage. That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.